What's that you said? Oh, you impulse bought a reptile, huh? A hognose? Well, I can say I've done that a time or two. And now you need somewhere to house it, because maybe it's in a baby bin, or even worse, in a deli cup. Obviously we can't keep it in that, so let's set up a budget-friendly-ish reptile tank.
Next, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I think she might have been impacted.
Now obviously you're going to need a tank. Some people choose to use tubs, like Sterilite tubs, which work for a while. They're not ideal because of the top opening. Now most snakes, this is being set up for a snake, a hognose snake, and most snakes don't like the shadow above them. They fear predation, that's why they hide, especially little snakes per se. So the first thing you're gonna need, it's a tank, right? You can use a Sterilite tub, you can use a tank like this, it's glass from Thrive, not sponsored. You can use PVC, you can take like a dresser and make it into your own tank. Despite all of those cool things, you need a tank, right? So today we're gonna set up a habitat for a hognose, a juvenile hognose snake. She's only about yay long, you'll see her. And this front opening 10-gallon is gonna work so well. She's right now in a tub, a baby bin from Snakeful Grace, and we're gonna put this together for her. So, first thing you gotta do is clearly you gotta open the tank, get rid of all the plastic and all the styrofoam and all the cardboard. Don't break it when you set it on the table. Make sure, see, these tanks have these little like half circle spots for your thermometer, your thermostat that you're going to use. Make sure you have all of them, because tiny little hognoses and other small snakes will try to crawl through that if they can get up to the lid. You also have a top opening hatch on this one. Make sure that's firmly closed. After you get the tank open, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sanitize the tank. We use chlorhexidine. It's safe for all reptiles, it's safe for humans unless you have an allergy to it. Spray the tank down, wipe it up, Bob's your uncle. Tape on your tank or inside your tank. Some of the Thrive kits come with things stuck to the glass. Make sure you get all of that out, because anything sticky is very harmful to your snake. Getting it off is the problem. You have to soak them in oil and clean them up, and it's very stressful for them. It's stressful for the person having to clean them, and we just don't want to deal with that. So there's nothing sticky in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning. Now that it's all clean, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our substrate in. Our substrate of choice, well, this is actually the first time we're gonna use this, is Sandy chips. So Sandy chips can be used on most colubrids that don't need a high humidity. It doesn't hold moisture. It absorbs a little bit of moisture, but it doesn't hold moisture like soil or something does. And they can burrow in it. It doesn't hold burrows very well, but it is a lot more sanitary than, say, aspen. So we got this big bag. We're gonna go ahead and we're only gonna put about 1.5 inches or 2 inches in the bottom of this, just because we've noticed with our hognoses that if we put too much substrate in there, they will burrow, they will not come out, they will hide, and therefore they won't eat. So let's get into this. I just looked back at the video and my head was cut off that entire time, so that's fun. Anyway, hopefully I'm in the shot now. Let's see if I can get this open here. This is gonna take a while. Can you grab me a plastic bag or a trash bag? The unscented ones. mess and got our substrate down. Alright, get that out of the way. So now we're going to go ahead and put in our thermostats. The thermostats that we use can be found on Amazon. They are this BN Link thermostat. All of the prices will be listed on the screen somewhere for all of these products. But these work really well. We haven't had any issues with them. Eventually we do want to switch to something like the, oh god, what is it called? I'll put it on the screen because I know what I'm thinking about. I can see it in my head, but I can't think of the word. But for now, all of our repels use these BN Links. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna place our hides. We have two small little tiny hides here. We got these from the Snake Discovery store. And we're gonna put one on each side of the tank. They're the same. You got a hot side. And a cool side. And you want to make sure they're the same so the snake feels just as secure. Now, for some reason, if you don't have the same exact hides, it's okay. As long as you have two hides. Want them to be the same. If you don't, just have two. Now, we're gonna go ahead and put all this foliage in. That's too much foliage.
That you get the right,
Hang on.
you have to get the right size for the snake.
See it, yeah. So like this one would be for one of our ball pythons or our boa. And this one is for, this is for Thelma. Very big difference here. So get the right size. They want them to be snug. They feel more, much more secure and safe if they're snug. So, as I was saying to nobody, talking to my phone like an idiot, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in. I cut this off of one already. Now we have no ends here. We have no circles on this plant. This is a fabric plant, so do not form attachments to your plants. If they're fabric, you will have to throw them away eventually. They harbor bacteria. They get poop on them. They get pee on them. And you will have to throw them away. If you can find all plastic plants, that's even better because then you won't have to throw them away. You can clean them. However, after you clean these and soak them, you're going to want to soak them and soak them and soak them. Make sure none of this color bleeds. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here. I don't know if it filmed it or not, but this is a piece of wood that's going to go in her tank. It's just, I got it at the aquarium store, some driftwood. Don't know what type it is. It's never been in a fish tank, but it's cleaned, it's sanitized, we baked it, and then I cleaned it off with chlorhexidine. Now it's going to go back in the tank. Or not back in, well, whatever. What I was saying about this thing is I'm going to use this to make a humidity hide with Zoomed's sphagnum moss. We prefer this moss. We find that it works the best, it lasts the longest, it's the softest, it's cushy, so they have a soft place to lay like they would if they were laying in whatever. All of our reptiles have a humidity hide except for the bearded dragons because they don't like them. And even though you want your humidity like 40 to 60 for hognoses, they still utilize their humidity hides because they do like to use them when they shed. So I'm gonna go put this together. I'll be right back. As you can see, I've cut a hole in here. I used a soldering pin to do that. You can use whatever you can do, but whatever you do, make sure that you don't have any sharp, pointy spots. And if it cuts a piece of toilet paper, it could cut your snake. And then we have this lid. The sphagnum moss has been wet and rehydrated. Now you want to squeeze it and get all the excess water out. You don't want it sitting in there because they don't like to be wet. They like the humidity that it creates. So 2 hides, substrate that's appropriate for your snake, a humidity hide, and some plants. All right, so as you can see here on Dee Dee's enclosure, we have these 2 domes. These are the domes that we typically will use. They're not adjustable, that's the word I'm looking for, but on thermostats they do just fine. They are from Home Depot, they are cheap. Don't shoot me, don't come at me. I have lots of animals, they're well taken care for, and this is a budget setup by the way. So this one was like 10 bucks This one was like $13. So you're gonna need 2 of those, one for heat, one for light. Then you're gonna need, we use deep heat projectors. They do cost a little bit of money. However, we prefer them over basking bulbs because our house gets very cold at night and we don't want our sinks to get too cold. So they can stay on 24/7. They don't emit any light at all, which your snakes and all of your reptiles need a daylight cycle. Don't use blue or red basking bulbs. They're horrible for your reptiles. Don't do it. They can hurt their eyes. They can potentially cause them to go blind. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm a nurse. So just don't do it. So you want to make sure that you use something smaller for a smaller tank, bigger for a bigger tank, because you don't want it to get too hot in there. Even with a thermostat, it holds heat, so you don't want to cook your snake, right? So we're gonna do that. And then I've heard so many things about linear UVBs and bulb UVBs. I did buy a bulb UVB. I know that it doesn't give any or enough UVB for certain reptiles. I would never use this on my bearded dragons tank, but it was on sale. Thelma needs a new setup, so we have it. Now, a little bit is better than none, and through my research from the countless videos and articles I've read, they don't really need it. It does benefit them, but they are okay without it. You see half of the time people live with their snakes in rack systems, which we don't particularly care for here at Stafford Exotics, but this is going to be better than nothing in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and hook the DHP up to the thermostat back here and set it on the top of that side. The temp range that we typically set our Hognoses at, we do about 85 on that, so then it stays about 80 to 83 inside their tank. Now we're going to go ahead and just set up our light. Typically we would have these on timers that automatically give them 12 hours of sunlight, but I don't have any timers right now. So Mallory has a special present for Thelma. She wants to go in her tank. How cute is that? Okay, anyway, so we have her.
It's important to provide enrichment.
Boob.
Oh, you're killing my cable management.
I didn't know it was managed. Ta-da! Now we have light. Yay! Last but not least, we're gonna put our water bowl in. Water bowl she's already been using. The biggest thing with water bowls and reptiles is you want something that they can curl up in, but you don't want it to be super deep unless they're big enough to get out of there, because you don't want them to drown. Don't let your snakes drown, guys. So now for the special guest. This, everybody, meet Thelma. She's in this little enclosure. It's a baby bin that we got from...
There's a tiny rock inside of there.
Where? Oh, there's not. She's all about this rock right now. I'm trying to introduce Thelma, Mallory. There's no rock in there. Come here, baby.
It was a rock. I put it in there.
This is Thelma, everybody. She's our albino Arctic Western Hognose. Yeah. So we had her in a 10-gallon before. It was a top opening one. And she's, I don't know if she's trying to brumate or if she is just not in the mood to eat. She's going on a hunger strike, but she just hasn't eaten for us. So we put her in this smaller enclosure that we had from Snakeful Grace to see if she would eat for us, and she didn't. So now we're going to try a front opening one. It's time for her to go into a bigger enclosure anyway. As you can see, she is getting kind of big. A little too big for this. Where are you going, honey? So let's go put her in her new home. Okay, now, so we're going to put her in her new enclosure. Look, Thelma. Look at all this big room. Do you want to check it out? Huh? I'm hoping that by putting her in this front opening enclosure, she will be more apt to eat. What is going on? Look at all this room for you, baby. You want to go right here? And off she goes. Once again, thanks for hanging out with me while I created Thelma's new tank. All the prices I'll put on the screen for you guys, and then the total cost I will put somewhere on the screen right now, showing how much this somewhat budget-friendly intermediate setup for a hognose snake cost me. Thanks for yeah, it'd be good for about a year. Duly noted, I did get the tank. It was on sale at PetSmart, so it's gonna be a little bit cheaper, but it's affordable. You guys can do it. Maybe we'll set up a tub enclosure one day for another impulse buy. Anyway, we'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Like, subscribe, do all of the YouTube things, and we'll see you next time. Bye. The last thing you need is a thermometer with a hydrometer, and we love these Govee ones. They, I get them on Amazon. They're not very expensive at all. So, cost of thermometer on screen now. Cost of everything on screen now. Total with this thermometer. That's the video, y'all. I don't think I forgot anything else. Thelma's loving it. She's already hiding, so hopefully she'll eat for us soon. If not, we'll figure it out. We'll go from there. So have a good day.